All right, we are live. Week number 2 of Let's Get Down to Business. And I am going to be taking care of your business tonight. So we're going to start off with a little Bachman Turner overdrive. If I can get away with it, we want it just loud enough for us to hear it, but not loud enough for the algorithms of the YouTubes and the Facebooks to pick it up because they'll kick us right out of the live shot. So thank you for being here tonight. I'm very excited. Boy, it's been a couple of weeks since I was here because we had a trip to Vegas that we were planning on live streaming from, and something fell through. We had a opportunity to go out with some folks, and the room that we were going to use wasn't available, so we decided to take advantage of our relationships while we were in Vegas with the guys. We were with the Cigar Peg there, and the National Speakers Association Cigar Peg. It's a philanthropy group that I belong with, and a bunch of great people. So we had a mastermind in Vegas, so we missed that week. And then last week, unfortunately, what goes to Vegas doesn't stay in Vegas, and we brought home COVID. So I appreciate Hakeem checking in with me tonight. What's going on, my brother? That's my B&I brother. He is another coach, which we do tag teaming in our BNI. He coaches leadership coaching. So, I coach business coaching and have businesses getting their success game on. Hakeem helps people with their leadership game. So it is really hand in hand with what we do. But so last week I was home with COVID. So I still got a bit of a hack. Not too bad though. But it wasn't bad either. It's like kind of like the flu. I really appreciate the choice that I had to wear a mask or not wear a mask. I chose not to wear a mask, and I paid the consequences. But that's what life is about in America. You have the choice to do something, and we take the risk, and we live with it. And listen, having COVID was not ideal, but I really took advantage of the tired, the lethargic feeling that I had, and I just kind of rested all week. So it was really a nice change that I got to have a little bit of downtime, which is not normal. It's not my MO. If everyone knows me, I don't sleep regularly on the regular. So I'm trying to get some help for that too. But here's to COVID and a healthy recovery for my wife and I. All right. So what we want to start with tonight. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate you checking. Everyone's checking in tonight. Oh, Jim, thank you very much. You look marvelous. We want to start with mindset tonight. Mindset is so important to run your daily business, but also to make sure that you are best suited to help others, right? Because every day we walk in service if we're doing this thing right. We're walking in service on our clients. We're walking in service on our employees, our family, and hell, we should be doing that out in the world to strangers. Just be out there. Someone cut you off. I know I like to be a hothead a lot of times. I've got a quick temper. But I think back to Jocko Willink, who's probably one of the baddest men I know of. And he's got a great philosophy. If somebody's beeping at you and you didn't really do much, you're not letting them in, or you're trying to get in and they're just losing their mind on you, maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe you should give them a break because they're having a really bad day. So I kind of think about that
You miss a couple of stoplights just by a couple of nanoseconds, you get mad. And I just start thinking that maybe I'm just not supposed to be 1 nanosecond ahead, because that's all that accidents take, right? Little T-bone action. How long does it take to get through an intersection, right? Bam, 1 nanosecond, and bam, you're blasted, right? You're stuff on a rock. And so maybe that light is supposed to stop me. So I kind of try to give that. It's all mindset. I've got Lex. I'm working with Lex on a bunch of my proactive mind stuff. Re-energizing my soul and my mindset, and she's working with me on some stuff, and she gave me some great stuff this week on mindset. What I used to say was, I don't want to create a job for myself, and I've been saying that for weeks. I don't want to create a job for myself, and so yes, Jim, personal responsibility. Let me sneak that one in. It's the crux of liberty. Man, you got that right. Going back to that COVID talk, I chose not to wear a mask. My wife chose not to wear a mask, and that is our responsibility. And I'm not going out and taking a bunch of resources up. And I took some home tests, and I was negative or positive for a few days, and then I was negative. So it's the liberty that we get to enjoy, especially here in South Florida. But what Lex was talking to me about, though, was something that I've been doing. It's like, I don't want to create a job for myself. I want to help people, and the system that I use, the profit acceleration system, is perfect for that, because it's really self-motivating. It's self-winding. People go in there, they watch videos, they take text, and then they write me questions, and I answer the question of the weeks, and we have more of an accountability agreement or partnership. But what she said to me was, Jeremy, the brain cannot hear the word can't or don't or any of those negative stuff. So when I'm telling myself I don't want to create a job for myself, my brain is hearing I'm going to create a job for myself. Bam, like, what the hell is going on over here, right? I don't want to create a job, but my brain is hearing, Jeremy, you want to create a job. And I've been telling myself this over and over. So Lex, thank you very much for setting me straight on that. So now I want to say, instead of I don't want to create a job for myself, is I want to create more a situation where I have more freedom. I want to create optimal opportunity for me to help as many people as possible, at the same time control how I help them when I help them. So thank you, Lex, for that big mindset shift this week. You were definitely on top of mine this week, as I was really contemplating that and spreading that message to my clients and my family this week. So here's to you, Lex. All right, so mindset out of the way, which is change your mindset from reactive to proactive. We did that. We had a good week of that. I'm not going to get into the other stuff that we talked about. I will do that over the next few weeks. A lot of good stuff. I tell almost everyone who coaches me, it's going to come in here and it's going to come out here. All right, here's Aronowitz. Whew, that's a welcome name. Hey, buddy. Thank you. Yes, feeling very much better. Thanks for that note there. Appreciate you taking the time and following me here. We want to talk tonight. First up is I'm going to talk about completely crushing the market with your strategic marketing. All right, we want to say crushing the market. We don't mean crushing your competition. We mean crushing the market. We mean really taking every opportunity that you can to create a prospect and to turn them into ravenous, mad fans of yours, and loyal clients, friends, referral partners, introduction machines. And we want to do that by crushing your message. Okay. Got some Googleators going on here. We got some text going on. Minnesota attending. Patrick is watching online. But thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. But yeah, we want to talk about strategic marketing, and we're going to talk about a really high level. Okay, we're not going to bore everyone. We're not going to talk for 2 hours about this, but I really want to start off tonight with your message, with your content, and what you say and how you say it. Strategy when it comes to marketing is your content. It's what you say, how you say it. It includes the concepts that you choose to focus on. On the other hand, tactical marketing is the execution of the strategy that you're employing. So it's where are you saying what you're saying? Are you putting ads up on billboards? Are you putting it on your website? Are you attending trade shows? Are you doing 30-second commercials in BNI, for example? This is what tactical marketing is. It's not what you say, it's where you say it. Ask anybody. I bet you if you ask 10 people tomorrow about their marketing plan, they will tell you all about their tactics. They're going to tell you about, oh, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook, I repurpose my podcast and I put them over here, and then I go to BNI and I do 30-second commercials and I let the message out that way. I have a website and I'm always working on improving the website. Well, that's tactics. And more important than where you say it is what you say. That's where people are failing. To understand, they more concentrate on where they're saying things and they spend less time on what they're saying. So let's talk about what marketing is, okay? Marketing is facilitating your prospects. Okay, let me turn this down just a little bit. This song is getting old in my ear, so probably it's getting old in your ear. Next, I'm going to next it. So we want to understand that the marketing is facilitating your prospects' decision-making, period. That's what marketing is. It's letting your clients and your prospective clients understand what you do, how you do it, and the value that you provide this service or product with. It's educating them. It's telling them what they need to do in order to buy what you're selling with confidence, because nobody wants to take a mistake to their wife or their husband. I just bought this, right? And they're gonna. You want people to feel good about what they're buying. All right, Ken Crawford, my man Ken from Comcast days. I've known Ken for a long, long time. Hello, buddy. Good for checking in. Thank you. On LinkedIn. I see a bunch of LinkedIn, a couple of Facebooks, looking for some YouTube comments here tonight. So when you can make your clients or your prospects comfortable about what they're going to buy from you before they buy it, that's what marketing is. The prospect is not the expert, right? People want to understand what they're buying from an expert, and that's what we are as salespeople, as service providers, as product providers. We want to feel that we, as I'm talking about the client now, they want to feel confident that their money has been well spent, that they got a deal. And a deal doesn't mean the best price. That's what everyone gets hung up on, best price. We want to get away from pricing. Pricing is the lowest common denominator. It's the worst part that you can actually partake on when you're talking about giving people service. You don't want to compete on price especially, but you definitely don't want your clients to think about price when they're talking about a deal. What we want to do is take the time beforehand and educate them. So this is where it's coming to, it needs to be communicated to them in a way that will make them pay attention, and they'll believe in it, and then they'll take action on it. So we have something in our brains called the reticulated activating system, RAS, reticular activating system. And there's all sorts of cool things we could do with our websites to get people's attention, right? The headline is the attention. So we're going back to the conversion equation we talked about a little bit last week, and we'll talk about this week, the interrupt, engage, educate, and offer. But we're really still talking about the fundamentals, about making people understand that you have what they want, but you have it in a way that nobody else has it. It's setting yourself apart from the competition. By the way, phone number tonight is 954-338-9799. Give me a call, whether we're talking about marketing foundations, we're talking about sales, talking about running some numbers, P&Ls, profit, employee engagement. Give me a call tonight if you've got a question about your business. If you got a comment about any of this stuff, 954-338-9799. Take your call on air all night till 10 o'clock Eastern. And so also put some comments in there, put some questions if you like, and we'll go to the comments. So your marketing, primarily it was invented in the old days by companies who had the opportunity to really expand on the value of their company, what they offer, their products, their services. It was really, they had a lot of time and a lot of space, and it wasn't that much money. First of all, there wasn't a lot of companies, there wasn't a lot of competition, so they were educating their clients as to what they did, how they did it, why they do it, all the whys and stuff. That's what, pre-1945, when advertising first started. And then, who can tell me what happened in 1945 that changed advertising forever? Okay. Something happened around 1940s that changed the way we advertise. I'll give everyone a few minutes to put it in the comment section. But this is the most significant innovation in marketing happened in around 1945 that changed the way that companies communicated what they do, how they do it, why they do it, who they do it for, what sets them apart from the competition. So it was the invent of the television. The television changed everything in marketing. It was the next 10 years, the commercials went from about 2 minutes long, where they still paid the advertising men to read the whole 2-minute ad. Remember Johnny Carson and Ed, what's his name? Ed, Big Ed, his sidekick, used to do the Alpo commercials, right? And the two of them would act out plays and talk about all of the different stuff about Alpo. But then as time goes on, it went down to 2 minutes, and then a minute. And then when it went down to a minute, more companies were, not Ed Sullivan and Hakeem. The other Ed. Ed was the guy who had his own show. Ed Sullivan. Ed McMahon. That's what I'm thinking of. Thanks, though, for playing Hakeem. Ed McMahon. He was a U.S. Marine. Hoorah. Semper Fi. Anyway, what they did over the next, it started getting expensive, right? They started charging more money. So then companies had to go, okay, I can't really spend 2 minutes or even a minute. And then eventually got down to 30 seconds. They went to slogans and logos, right? Catchy songs, right? Colors and brands. And that's what advertising did. It was called creative and repetitive, CNR marketing, okay? They didn't feature their benefits. They didn't talk about their features and benefits. Instead, they used these catchphrases to get your attention. And everyone can remember Coke and a smile, right? Have a Coke and a smile. I wanted to buy the world of Coke, right? And teach it perfect, to sing in perfect harmony. Everybody remembers that whole slogan that Coke did. Mean Joe Green, right? With his jersey, with the kid giving him a Coke, and throws him the jersey and just covers the whole kid up. Everyone remembers those commercials. And you buy on emotion at that point. You buy on, brand loyalty, and that's it. But what about the company? What about the people behind it? What about the product? What makes them different than their competitors when you're talking about your product, right? Are you doing that? Are you the buy right now, right? What kind of jargon are you using on your website? What are you doing that's separating you from your clientele? You see, there's an inside reality that you have cultivated in your company. If you're doing the right things, you're creating that employee culture, the happiness, you're training people, you have great systems, you have operating procedures. You're using people like myself to help you focus in on your culture. Okay, your hiring process, your onboarding, you're retaining people, you're training them, you're cross-training them, you're teaching people how to speak to each other. And now you've got great value and great purpose and great happy employees. But nobody sees that stuff. What they see is what you're putting out there in the advertisement world. So that is called an outside perception. So how customers perceive you, how they know about your existence, is your advertising. Of course, it's the interactions with your employees when they call. Of course, we're not talking about that. We're talking about marketing, because that is execution. But what they see about you, what you're allowing them to see, the outside perception, you're allowing slogans, logos, jargon, songs, brand colors to identify you. And that doesn't do you justice. You're not giving yourself a compelling message. You're not giving your clients the offer that they cannot refuse, the low risk or no risk offer You're not telling them why they should do business with you. This is what will separate you from your competition, right? Because the internet is a giant magnification tool to spread your compelling message. Your marketing's first job is to get people's attention. That's it. First job. It's got many jobs, but the first one is to get people's attention. Back to the reticulated activation system. When somebody doesn't even know they need a product, but you have done a good job with your message, focusing on a singular feature or benefit, and you get someone's attention, that is a win. The second job of marketing is to facilitate their decision-making process, the buyer's journey, right? Slogans are now the de facto marketing strategy. Remember, strategy is what your message is, but it doesn't share a compelling story. This is called the C&R advertising, creative and repetitive or brand building, and it's created again from the 1960s and 90s for commercial TV. Jargon is now so commonplace that you could probably go to your competitor's website, take their name off, put your name on there, and it would say the same things. We specialize. We've got the lowest prices. Who's guilty of this? We've got the highest quality. All right, I want you to give yourself, there's two tests you can give yourself. There's a fun way and a boring way. So the boring way is, well, I should hope so. Well, oh, George, I should hope so. You've got the largest selection. Well, I should hope you have the largest selection. I don't want to go to your store for the smallest selection. All right. You have the lowest prices. Well, that's probably not the way to go, but I should hope if you're advertising on price that it's the lowest price. Now, the fun way to do it is the Chris Rock way to do it, right? Take care of my kids. You're supposed to take care of your kids. Okay. We're honest, but you're supposed to be honest, right? Ask yourself that. We have the best service. You're supposed to have the best service, aren't you? That's how you stay in business. So go to your website and see how much jargon you're using on your front page, on above the fold, below the fold. How many slogans, how much logo you're depending on your logos. All right. Your catchphrases. These are not going to get you ravenous fans that are going to support you through thick and thin and not even look at the competition. And they're not going to pay more for what you have if all you're doing is depending on a couple of jargon, sayings that everyone else can use. So why is the price the main factor? It's because you're being suckered into the old slogan jargon way to advertise and market. So the new way is called understanding the buyer's journey, and it's called the conversion equation, which we talked about. So who else can say this stuff? Let's say you're a cabinet maker, okay, and your advertising says the same old thing as everyone else, but in reality, all right, so your outside perception is you do the same thing as everyone else. You take credit cards. Well, I should hope so, but in reality, you've guaranteed on the quote that you can complete the job in 5 days and that you leave the job cleaner every single day while you're working, guaranteed. And you do that. You're very good about that. You've got an extra person on each crew that really has an eye for detail and the cleanup, and you got everything. You really got your systems down, so the materials are ordered in the right order, especially with the down payments that they're giving you. And you've got a long track record of fiduciary responsibility, so you've got some reserves, and you can order got some good relationships with vendors, so you get priority service. This is the kind of things that you need to have on your website. You guarantee that you complete the job in a certain number of days. You leave the job cleaner every single day than before you show up. And you do that. You go out of your way to do that. Do the little things. You have preferred vendor status where you can guarantee the materials will show up on time so that the job will be done on time. These are the things, people, that will separate you from your competition. So again, that's the fundamentals of marketing. It is time is going by so fast here. It's 8:25 here. I want to take a few minutes to talk about tonight's book of the night. And let us go to Bam. Let's go here and let's talk about Jolt. Jolt is a book by my buddy, Larry Long Jr. Larry sent me a copy of this. It's available on Amazon. Jolt, it's called Jolt. Get zapped into intentionality. Rediscover and believe in your inner greatness. Larry is the creator of the midday motivational minute. If you don't watch that, I would suggest you do. It's on LinkedIn every Wednesday at noon. And it's only about maybe a minute, right? So it's a motivational minute. So chances are it's about a minute. But of course, he did a little bit of an inscription for me. I appreciate you for writing that to myself and Christy. We appreciate it. But it's a great book. Larry's a great salesperson. He's a great sales trainer. I met Larry through the Noodleberg Huddle about 2 years ago. And I got this. I'm very proud of him. You know, I wrote a book before I met him, and first time I talked to Larry was through a virtual coffee, and because I was learning about that on the Noodleberg Daily Huddle, and Christy and I would just, you know, Larry had one of those infectious personalities, so I reached out to Larry, and we had our first virtual coffee, and I said, Larry, you know, I was thinking about becoming a speaker one of these days with my book, because you know, it talked about my life and overcoming adversity. And he's like, you can do it, you know, and here's a person, Dr. Kevin Schneider, and here's his book, Paid to Speak. And you gotta know this guy. And he did an introduction. And so thank you very much for that, Larry. Really, I am here today in no small part because of you and your attention to my network here. But it's a great book because it does a lot of, you know, it's an easy read, but it's got some interactive aspects to it where he's got some blanks and you can write in your story, and I'm enjoying reading it. I'm not the best reader. Everyone knows I'm a nugget hunter, right? It says I'm a treasure hunter for your business revenue, but I'm also a nugget hunter when it comes to reading because I just don't have the attention span to do that. But between each chapter here, there are top 3 jolts that he asks you. So there's some introspection that can happen and some getting better. And I really did enjoy receiving this in the mail, Larry, and I'm working my way through it. So I just wanted to point out today, please, everybody go to Amazon, put in the words Larry Long Jr. in Amazon, and Larry will send you a book. It's a really good price, $16.95. But the most important thing after you buy it is to actually go back on there and do a 5-star rating and give them some comments, because that is really what makes the algorithms start turning. So once you're over there, you can pop on over to the Business Treasure Hunter and purchase for those if you like, or catch me on LinkedIn, send me a direct message, and I'll send you a free PDF version of the Business Treasure Hunter. 954-338-9799. Tonight's open phones. We have no scheduled guests tonight. A couple of people I talked to had some family stuff going on, so I figured let's just go ahead and wrap for 2 hours. Why not? I've been known to talk longer about less interesting things in business. So let's get back over to the conversation or the conversion. Let's to make the mouth work. How about that? The conversion equation. It's the second part of crushing your market message. And we started talking about jargon and slogans and how they all impact your message and how they're probably pretty boring, right? Ken Crawford, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that you had answered that Ed McMahon question earlier. Thank you for that, my man. Appreciate it. So we're going on to the second part of after you've gotten some value in, or focus, I should say, some perspective about how you help, who you help. So once you understand your client, once you understand your preferred client, your avatar, some people call it, right? Focus on what this person needs and how you can help them. Okay. When you start and really write down your client's pain points and you understand what their frustrations are, what their fears are, what their hopes and desires are, you can speak to them like you're speaking to yourself, right? And so once you pick one thing, this is where the RAS comes in, the reticular activating system. When you pick one thing to focus on and you come up with an interrupt, the headline, really big, okay? This will get the attention of people who didn't even think they were going to be clients of yours. This is going to get people's attention. Wow. Yes. And somewhere in my mind, yes, I do need that product or service. Your headline gets their attention if they are at all in the area or arena of becoming possibly a client. See, most people spend that whole slogan, jargon, act now stuff on the 3% of people who are ready to buy right now. Okay. That is a very small market, 3% of the marketplace. But what about the other 97% of people who are not ready to buy right now, but who do want to buy eventually? Well, how do you get those people interested in you, in your service, in your value? This is how you do it. The interrupt, the headline, getting your prospects' attention and tapping into that reticulating activation system. The subheadline underneath is called the engage. This is where you're going to promise them some information is forthcoming that will help the prospect make a best decision possible. This is best done on an emotional level. So they're not in the market for something necessarily, but you caught their attention, some headline. Now the subheadline is a promise now because reticulating activation system catches their attention. Now the brain wants to eat. So you want to feed that information by promising information is forthcoming. Okay. That will get the prospect interested because now they're going to figure out, are you giving them the opportunity to make a good decision? The third part to the conversion equation is called educating them. You promise them information forthcoming, now deliver the information that is allowed to have them logically understand how and why you will solve their emotional problem. Do this with detailed, quantifiable, specific, reality, revealing information. And this changes the process from an emotional sale to a logical sale. Tell them how you are superior in every way to your competitors using real language. All right, did you get that, guys? We did the shock and awe with the interrupt, and then we engage with the headline, and that's going to be an emotional engagement, making a promise of forthcoming information. But the education is going to transfer that emotion to logic. Okay. The logic behind understanding what you can do to solve the problem that they didn't even know they had a lot of times. A lot of people have a problem that they don't want, and you have a solution that they want but don't have. This is where you're going to explain how you're going to solve their problem. Now, the fourth part of this and the last part here is the offer. It must be a compelling offer, low risk or no risk offer. And there's steps that they're going to take. Let's say they're going to put an email in. In the educational part, it tells you about 10 steps in, let's use a child daycare center, okay? Or a child psychologist. Let's go with, either one of the child psychologists. What is the old way to do it, psychologist, the old slogan, he's going to list 10 different things on his websites that he does, like all psychologists do. Right. He's going to explain how he works with appointments, and he works in the evenings, and he works takes credit cards. He takes insurance. Well, I should hope so. Okay. That's no different from any other psychologist that deals with a child psychologist that deals with anybody's issues on the block. Same as everyone else. Here's how you're going to be different. Let's say you have a child that screams incessantly, just screams for no reason, just freaks out over the littlest things, and you don't know what to do. You're at your wit's end, right? You go Google this, all right? And of course, it's in his keywords, so it pops up. And there's 10 different websites who say that they deal with kids screaming as part of their psychology practice. But they all do the same thing, right? Along with 10 other things. But what if the one headline, what if they just saw one headline and it said, do you need to solve your screaming child's problem once and for all? Okay. Headline, interrupt. Stop your child's incessant screaming once and for all. Boom. That's the reticulating activation system. Yes, that's what I want. How? Well, here's the engage. Okay. Top 10, right? Or let's just say stop. Read, we promise we can stop any child screaming within 30 seconds, guaranteed. Information here. Now that is pretty emotional. I have a child that won't stop screaming, and this website is telling me stop children screaming once and for all. How to stop any child from screaming in 30 seconds, guaranteed. Well, that is something I'm reading about. I'm scrolling now, aren't I? Okay. So now I'm captured. So now I've got to educate. I've got to tell these people in the website or in your advertising what you promised to tell them. You've got to educate them. So you're going to give them a nice chunk, really, of what you do, how you help people. Who do you help? How do you help them? It always comes back to who do you help and how do you help them? And you're going to explain maybe you have the specialty training and sit down with the parents and get to the root problem of the child screaming. And here's the top 4 things that you need to know about what to do first and to stop any child from screaming, get down on their level, make the environment quiet. I don't know. I'm not a child psychologist, and luckily I never had kids that scream like that. But you're going to give them a few real, logical solutions to their problem. Now here's the offer. Okay. The offer has to be low or no risk. So put your email here below and you will get my free pamphlet with the top 10 ways to stop your child from screaming within 30 seconds, guaranteed. So you're going to put the email in, you're going to get an email that you want. You want that email. You want the top 4 made a lot of sense. It was in paragraph form and the educate, but now you want the whole shebang. So you're going to put your email address in there. And now I'm going to deliver them 10 reasons, top 10 ways to make a child to stop screaming in 30 seconds. Now, what I'm going to do with that information is that's the first touch. It takes 5 to 12 touches to make a client buy. That's the future. Remember the 3% buy now, click here, best lowest price. Well, the other 97%, it takes 5 to 12 touches to make them a client. So you've touched them once with your email. Okay. And I got a comment here from somebody who's very beautiful. So let me hit that. Aligning logic and emotion in your marketing for your ideal client is the goal. Yes. Thanks for that. Thanks for that support, Christine Torisk. I guess the LinkedIn monster got you because normally you're Christy Torisk, but congratulations on becoming your own broker too, by the way, Christy. Flamingo Realty. Anyway, on your offer, you've touched them once now. You've given them the 10, the whole burrito. Now you take those 10. Listen to this. This is the next 5 to 12 touches. You take those 10 different ways to help a child screaming, and you knock that down into 10 different emails, and you expand on each one of those 10. You give them even more information. You see what we're doing? We're giving away the valuable information for free. We're educating them. We're using logic. We're overcoming their objections in these emails, by the way, right? You're letting them know that you are the best at what you do, that you specifically handle the problem that they specifically have that you can solve. You're giving them information when you said you're going to give it to them. You're giving them more information than expected, and you're overcoming objections if you do it in a smart way in these emails. And so you got 10 emails that you're just broken down, plus the first one is 11. You're breaking down those other 10 into long form, real, logical, right, consumable emails. And you're not blasting them every 2 hours, right? You're hitting them every couple of days. And now, when they try some of these and it works and they go to pick up the phone, They're going to see your name. They're going to know you. They're going to have familiarity with you. They're going to call you. And do you think they're going to be talking to you about price at this point? I bet they're not. I bet they're going to come in and they're going to pay whatever you want them to pay to get their child to stop crying incessantly and screaming. You better do it. Right? You better do it. You better make that baby stop crying. But that's the compelling, guys. That's it. There is not a lot of mystery to this thing, but everybody is in the old school way of doing business, which is that C&R, right? Creative mindset of advertising, when the real money is in the conversion equation. It's being a specialist and separating yourself. Okay. So Tony, my brother, my hero, Tony, thank you for chiming in, overcoming the objection before it's an objection. Mr. Harley Davidson manager in Knoxville, Tennessee. You get a lot of those, probably guys coming in there with their wives and a lot of objections, but the product is the product, right? That stands on its own. What stands you apart from other Harley dealerships, right? It's your personality. All right. Maybe it's bringing Marshall Tucker in to play with and giving you free hot dogs and hamburgers, right? Oh, I appreciate you, Tony. So 954-338-9799 is the phone number. And we are taking live phone calls tonight, helping people solving their problems, whether it's employee engagement, marketing, sales issues. I'm not here to say that I can solve everyone's problems. I am here to have a dialogue with you, to maybe spark some change, get some insight, some perspective, because I tell you, I've done it all. Tony says we teach. There we go. Let me bring that up here. We teach on the platform that they can reach out to us. Some people prefer email because they are in a position they can't talk. That's true. Is you got to know, again, going back to knowing your client, how they like to be communicated. You know, Christy does brokerage and real estate broker, and every single person is different when it comes to how they like to be communicated. You know, some people, we just had a client recently where the people were, they just didn't want to be text at all. Everything had to be on the phone, which surprises me because when you're a bit older, I think you like to have stuff in writing. And I need to refer back to what we talked about. But they told her, don't text us. We need a phone call for everything that happens. So that's what she did. You know, communication. It is the key. Not sure tonight that I'm getting all my comments. So if you don't see me putting your comment up there, I'm trying to do my best at giving everybody. Oh, Mike Perrin, I missed one there. There you go. My buddy Mike from Texas. Another fellow musician, another cable dog, Mike Perrin. Thank you very much for checking in, Mike. Sorry, that one slipped by me. But last week I missed a lot of comments, and I didn't know until after the show was over, of course, when I get on there and see. But if you don't see me giving you your props, text me, 954-338-9799. Give me a call. Lord knows I've been around the block, all right? I've done a lot of things, so I've got a lot of like a journeyman in business. So we want to talk about learning your identity, your perfect clientele. I'm going through my avatar right now, and it is challenging. I promise you, it is very hard to come up with this stuff, this marketing thing. If it was easy, everyone would do it, right? And that's why a lot of people depend on this jargon and this slogan stuff because it's easy. It's easy to come up with a catchy catchphrase, all right? And it's much harder to really drill down and use the psychology of business and touch your ideal client. But once you get that figured out, folks, you will definitely not be wanting for any business. I hope that once you get this stuff figured out, that you have the room for additional business, because it will come in spades. I really have experienced a lot of this lately here with Garrett's website. We got this thing dialed in, and we're getting 2 or 3 leads a week now. And I'm talking about We got 0 in 3 years, and we're trying out these conversion equation lead squeeze pages for landscaping, and it is really working. We're getting 2 to 3 emails a week. Just says, hey, I'm interested in getting some eyes on my property. I live in Parkland. I have a big property, and I'd like somebody to come out here and look at it. Garrett goes out there, and I taught him a thing or two. I remember when we first started, he couldn't go to a land owner's property without me to figure out how to bill hourly for himself and his helper. And now he's going out to condominiums and he's doing these complex bids with bundling, and I'm very proud of what he's accomplished. But this information really does create inbound calls, inbound emails. Okay. So Jim, does marketing strategy transfer to employee engagement? That is an excellent question, and thanks for letting me transition from marketing to employee engagement. It's one of my favorites. Scott McGregor, I'm in his TCC group, Jim, and as you probably know, we go through a lot of discussion on employee engagement. So marketing strategy, how does this transfer into employee engagement? That's a great question. I would contend to say that your conversion equation of engaging and stuff, I don't know that it relates one-to-one with the interrupt and the engage and the educate, but it is as simple as the 4 interrupt, engage, educate, and offer for the conversion equation. It's as simple to have an employee engagement problem solved within just a few steps. And like anything, it starts with hiring, starts with onboarding, starts with retention, and then that leads to culture. So culture, as we learn, cannot be created. Culture can't be forged. Culture can't be formed, because culture is a result of your hiring, onboarding, and retention. So we have a process called mypeopleprocess.com, and what people do with that is, Jim, let me ask you for your marketing strategy transfer, do you have a marketing plan? Do you have a marketing manager who takes a book out and has step 1, 2, 3 about where you allocate marketing to, how much you spend on marketing, how much do you spend per week, how much do you have different phone numbers on different websites, so you can track which websites are causing different phone calls to ring? If you're doing print ad, you have different phone numbers, so you know which piece is causing the return on the investment. You probably have that process very strict and very defined. You probably have meetings about it. Jim, how many meetings do you have on your marketing plan? What are we doing for the next quarter? Where are we advertising? What specials? What deals? What, this all happens every single day in America. But how many people have people process employee engagement meetings every month? Not many. And this is all me just regurgitating Scott McGregor, right? You want to be the sum of the 5 people that you hang around with. We talked about that today on Bob Berg show. We were on coffee with Bob Berg, and we talked about you're the sum of the 5 people. And you know what? I want to put up an ad. I'll do that a little bit later, but that reminds me of a post we talked about earlier. But back to Scott McGregor's message about how many meetings do you have a month on your employee and your people process? Very, very few, if any companies in America. Okay. So Hakeem says, love this consistent messaging communication. Marketing to clients directly impacts to employee feels about their own place in the community and the company. That's true. That is one way, Hakeem, that they translate is that, but that's that internal view, reality, and the external perception. Once they align, man, now you're talking here. Now you're really, really talking about doing that. Regurgitating. That's where you get that It's symmetry where your values and your proposition are matching your outside and your inside voice. But so you're now you're having meetings. Okay, let's say you got a people process. Like I said, hardly anybody does. But what if you did? What if you had a meeting every month and you had all the department heads talking about the positions that they're going to open up, talking about the workload, talking about taking other people from other departments and cross training them, doing DISC assessments or some other type of employee assessment and figuring out who's happy, who's not happy, who's got some regular issues that are going on. There's my Aunt Kathy. Thank you, Kate. Good speaker. I'll give you a thank you for that, Kathy. There we go. You know, having these meetings is so imperative to your marketing plan. But when you don't do it with your employees and you just start hiring people and you start letting your HR department do the hiring without any accomplishment or any understanding of the personal components of the job, right? You probably, they've asked you, maybe HR asked you for a job description, and you maybe they've had it on file for the last 3 years because it's the same position, but things change over time. So it all starts. I'm not going to go into my TCC breakdown because this is a 52-week course that we take. He spends every Thursday at noon breaking down the hiring, onboarding, and retention, and it's a hell of a class. But you know, really just think about those really high-level meetings that you guys have about your marketing and your sales process, and nobody has these about their employees. So thanks, Scott, for opening my eyes to that. Again, culture is something that we create, or actually we can't create it. Culture is a result of what we create around hiring, onboarding, retention. So how much attention are we paying that? How much forethought are we putting that? Whose job is HR's job? All right, what is HR's job? HR, human resources. In my opinion, and it's a shared opinion with TCC, is that it's the kind of the legal, all right, mechanism that kind of keeps the company on solid ground. It's a place you go to house all the important information, keep things private, right? Social security numbers, you know, in personal information, processing these things. But HR, human resources, is everybody's job. It's everybody's job if you're doing it right, especially on the hiring and the filling out the job descriptions, having that process where you know exactly who puts the job description post up. You've reviewed it with the other department heads to make sure that there's nobody else in the company that could fill that position, so you can promote from within. You're not you're maybe making sure your message is clear so that you're attracting the right help. Okay, then you are receiving people in a way that makes it easy for them to apply, taking out at that application, that old application, and throwing it away, especially if you know which the position is. The resume is everything you need. All right, what do you need to fill an application for, especially when they don't have the job yet? Maybe once they're hired, maybe there's a formal application to fill out. But are you wasting people's time filling out applications when they don't have a chance for the job because their resume is just not a good fit? Just a waste of everybody's time. So having a system where that resume can come in and then maybe auto-populate some forms that can put everybody up on the same level, okay? And that way it can make it consistent. That's really what it's about. The type of communication, transparency helps with identifying gaps in personnel before they're gaping holes. So true, Hakeem, because this is where, you know, the communication showing that I like the assessment stuff too, because it really shows, are people happy in their position or not? And do they have an open door policy where they can walk up to the supervisor and talk to them about a problem that they're having? Or is there fear of retribution? No, you know, that's These days, people are so self-centered, and any complaint that comes in, they just feel like it's a personal attack on them. So have an open mind about when someone's bringing a concern to you, that they want something better for the company and for themselves. And when you feel like you're empowered, when you feel like you are able to go and your voice can be heard, and then some improvements can be made because of suggestions you make, and that is a motivational starter, right? That is a morale builder for the business. Tony says, learn ways to empower employees, build value in the employees. Amen. All right. Bam. Empowering employees, giving them a voice is really the way to do that. Feel valued and add value. Yeah, man, this thing is going nuts tonight. Thank you for that, guys. I'm happy this thing is so happy is the right fit. Really for me, for the disc, I like the disc for the team components, where you have that team wheel on disc. Everyone knows about disc. You've got all the people on the disc. And what I found, let's say I'm a sales manager and I'm a pit bull, all right, not too much of a stretch, right? I'm a pit bull and I have 20 people on my sales team. Well, how many of those salespeople that I hired probably look a lot like myself? All right, maybe not in age, maybe not in skin tone, maybe not even in sexuality or gender, but their pitch, their attitude. I bet you they're all stone cold killers. They're pit bulls. They go for the jugular. They don't take no crap. All right, these are the kind of people that I hire because that's how I am. Now, does that close every sale? Of course not. If it did, you'd have a $1 billion company with 20 people, because you would just, keep hiring the same person and you close every single prospect. But that doesn't happen because not everybody likes to be closed that way. All right. Certain products, certain services, certain people, they don't lend themselves to pit bulls. There's a place for them. So on your wheel, when you have people who like really fast moving environments and that really like to deal with people very fast, but not so much dealing on a very slow environment, or dealing with people who need a lot of information, who need a lot of feedback, you need to ask them a lot of questions, you need to give them some space. Well, maybe you should look at that, and you've had 20 clustered of 20 employees all on here. Maybe your next few hires should maybe fill in that wheel. And so when you get a posting and you're looking for those kind of attributes, you could probably put that in the description, and the resumes come in. And when you interview them, you could probably build that questionnaire around looking for people who have that different kind of maybe S or C personalities that maybe can stand a little bit of monotony and can do a lot of follow-up with these clients, but then that's what they take, a lot of TLC. Now you're going to get your wheel a little more balanced. Now your closing rate's going to come up because you're going to be able to talk to other people. So I might be able to pass a client to somebody who's got a little bit of a softer touch, right? Because if it's all about the company, that's kind of the way that I personally train my companies how to use that disc wheel. We are doing some good stuff with the comments. Thank you, everyone. This is making my night go faster. Appreciate you, Christy. If your employees are happy, they do your marketing naturally. That's true. They're walking billboards. Really, they're walking billboards for you. Hakeem, yep, 100% Christy. Thank you, Hakeem. It is true also on the interviewing process too. If you have 2 openings and you interview, you got 99 applicants. Well, you're only going to hire 2 openings. You're going to probably whittle that 99 down to, let's say 15 interviews. And then out of the 15, you're going to bring in probably 6 people face-to-face. And out of those 6 people, you're going to get that down to 4. And then you're going to have to make some decisions, and those tools can help. But the process and the flow and the way you treated the other 97 people through that whole process, how do you think those people are going to react if they notice something marked difference in the way that you had your interviewing process? If you responded to them, if you were cordial to them, if you called when you said you were going to call and ask nice questions and had a conversation with them and told them pretty quickly that the job just wasn't for them, maybe. All right. Honesty right there. instead of just blowing them off because they don't fit a box. Talk about advertising. All right, these people are going to talk about your company. Maybe they're going to apply again, and next time they see an opening, maybe you see something in their resume that is not for that position, but maybe can fill out another need in another part of the company. Right? Happy employees will strive for growth. That's right. And not everybody. Listen, I had an argument in Las Vegas with a friend who shall remain nameless, but I had a discussion about growth, and some people just don't like to grow. They're just in one spot, and that's all they're going to be in that spot, and that's all they want. And I don't understand it, but it's not for me to understand, is it? Not everything is for me to understand. Thank you for opening my eyes to that. I appreciate you. Nameless, wonder, smart person. That was fun. Of course, it was after a couple of tequilas and and over a big old steak too. Boy, I almost ruined that steak. So let's talk about first impressions and interviews for both interviewers and employees. It is really a great place to magnify the differences, right, and have a discussion with somebody. Really, that's right. They might be perfect, especially if you're growing fast. But one of the things that we want to look at is the way we interview is you want to have a conversation with these people. I mean, it doesn't seem like a real interview. It's a natural discussion to find out a little bit about them and have them find out a lot about you. All right. Especially if you're going to be working with the person directly. If it's a management position and you're a director and you're involved in the hiring, or you're your supervisor and you're going to be directly overseeing this person, personality matters. All right. So finding out, understanding how everyone's heard about the golden rule, right? Treating people the way they like to be treated. Well, when you get really into this DISC thing and you understand how the platinum rule works, which is treating people the way they want to be treated, that is when you really get some movement going on. And the good way to do that is by using the DISC tool and finding out, because the DISC tool will tell you exactly specific words that people like to hear and don't like to hear. And it's a great tool to find out. I wish I had, I tell people that next to their cubicle, they could put these two, say these words, don't say these words. All right. So when someone walks up to talk to them, they can just read, oh, here's this person's DISC words that they like, and here's the words that they don't like. And it's not always obvious. All right. It's not, I don't like those words. It's not insulting words. It's just things motivate people differently. Jim talked about being interviewed today for a job that had incredible, uninteresting job description, but hearing the CEO tell what the job was actually going to do was exciting. You see, that's my point perfectly. Thank you, Jim. Bam. That's a big thank you, because that job description, as small of a detail as it is, the job description is so important, because what if you wouldn't have applied? And what if you didn't get into that room with the CEO? They're missing out on so many opportunities. How many opportunities are you missing out because you've not done the little things on your people process, that you've done all the work on your sales process, all your marketing process, on your payroll process, but your people process is sorely lacking. And this is Jim has a great point. Just that one little meeting may not have happened because maybe he might not have applied. All right. I coach clients to kill it in their interview by doing just what you're encouraging employees to do, the same thing, refreshing. It is refreshing because I'll tell you, I'm not refreshing for myself, but I hear this every week on TCC, and everybody, you should join the TCC. And if you do, use my name, Jeremy Torisk, because I get points, and then I get a special painting from an artist who I don't know the name of, but if I get 25 people to join, I get that painting. But this is I think it's $295 or $395 a year. And this course that I'm in on Thursdays at noon is a $40,000 value that I get to be on for nothing, because it's part of the package. So very much plenty of time to join and get in on those Thursday conversations. And they are conversations. Scott just doesn't sit here and pontificate. They're conversations with a great crew. But we're through new hiring, or posting and stuff. We're about to get into onboarding this week, I think tomorrow. So plenty of time, plenty of information. But the price, Jim says the price goes up in October. So yeah, get in now. And you can throw Jim a bone too. So you give Jim, if he put me on, some people use me, some people can use Jim. But definitely, yeah, that's somebody like me. Exactly. Hire Jim. Actually, Jim's in the market. Jim's an excellent guy. Very, very personable. And we talked on we've had a virtual coffee, Jim and I. So this is a really great time in our history where we can reach out to all these people throughout I'm with the Bob Berg Network, with the Noodleberg Network in the morning, with TCC on Thursdays. And of course they have stuff out throughout the week, but I really focus on Thursdays. We got the Cigar Peg people that I deal with on Wednesdays in the afternoon, and the association program that Ed Rigsby has. And we've got the BNI group that on Friday afternoons that I'm around with. These groups, I'll tell you, they're amazing. And when you get all of the one-to-one, face-to-face, knowing your brothers and sisters, what they do, who they help, how they help them, it makes it easy to walk in service. All right. I'm just so happy to get this time and built this studio where I could do nothing but sit here every single day and go on an hour here, an hour there, and be around these amazing people that want to help everybody else. It's definitely a go-givers. Speaking of Bob Berg Go-Giver Cup there. Thank you for that, sir. He had my book today out and on his desk, and was telling everybody he was going to read it. So thankful for Bob, and telling you, bragging on the book, and can't wait for him to read it and give me some feedback on it. But available on Amazon now. Give me a call, guys. We want to talk to you if you're listening on Twitch, on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. Give us a call, 954-338-9799. We want to run the numbers. I'm going to do some run numbers right now. Let's play a game called Run the Numbers, because this is my favorite part of the night. It's 9:07. I'm a little late on it. I like to do this about 9 o'clock. We're going to run the numbers tonight. We're going to look at a fictitious business, since nobody is calling in with a specific problem they're having. And we're going to pull up my my profit acceleration simulator. This is going to be, everyone can get this at Atlantic businesscoaching.com/sim, SIM, atlanticbusinesscoaching.com/sim, and that will take you to the profit acceleration simulator. Basically, what this does, we talk about compounding results. Okay, so let me talk about compounding results real quick. So let me get it back out of here. If you embrace the power of compounding in your business, I'm telling you, it can change everything in a positive way very, very fast. Compounding results. If you guys all remember that old game that people talked about, taking a penny and adding, not adding a penny, but doubling the penny every day for 30 days. All right, I'm going to give you guys just a few minutes here to put some answers in the chat here. If you double a penny every day for 30 days, so you start day one with 1 penny. I'm going to make this simple. Okay, that's 1 cent. And then you add the next day 2 more pennies. Now you've got 3 cents. The next day is day 3. You add 3 pennies. 3 plus 3 is 6 cents. Okay. Day 4, 4 pennies. So 6 plus 4 is now 10 cents. Next day, 5. 5 and 10, 15. Keep doing that for 30 days. How much money do you think you'll have on day number 30 if you doubled your pennies? Actually, I was saying that wrong. Let me scratch that. I just said it all wrong. I said that wrong because I was adding a penny every day. I'm talking about doubling pennies. So 1 penny for one day, 2 pennies the next day is 3. The next day is 4 because you had 2, so it's 4. So 4 plus 3, 7. So you added 4. The next day, you had 4. Now you do 8. Then the next day, 16, 32 cents. So by day 1, 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, it's 32 cents. So you're a weekend, almost a weekend, and you got not even $1. How much do you have at the end of 30 days? I should do a little illustration on this. Sometimes they have a chessboard, which is more than 30 positions, but yes, Paul Molina. Look at big Paul Molina. Poppy, you are exactly right. 5,368,709 and 12. You got the fireworks, Paul. Chef Paul in the house. Chef Paulie Mo. I didn't think anyone would get it that fast. Thank you, my brother. That was pretty freaking awesome. 5,368,709 and 12. That's amazing. That's the power of compounding results. So here's the great news, though. You don't have to double your results every day to get humongous positive moves, positive, what they call that, the moving the needle, positive needle moving action in your business. You don't need to double. 3% across a few key components of your business will give you exponential growth. Okay. And let me give you an example of this. I use Christy. All right. She's a real estate broker. So she goes to a meeting every day or every week, and she gets referrals. And her message, let's say her message is, hi, my name is Christy. I've been selling real estate for about 15 years now. I have a solid track record. Let me know if you know somebody that I can help. And thanks. How many of you are moved by that? Right? You got Christy, 15 years experience, solid track record. Pretty boring stuff. Well, let's say that she gets 100 leads a year. Okay, from that elevator pitch. It did not make you run right over and try to look for some clients for Christy. Let's change it around a little bit now. Let's say that Christy instead says, hi, everybody, I'm Christy Torisk, and I specialize in helping families buy homes larger than they thought they could afford. Let me know if you know anyone that I can help. Now, no doubt, there's not a lot of people who could disagree with that. Is a bit more interesting. I can find families buy houses larger than they thought they could afford. Okay. Now, what if that only got her 3 more leads per year? If the other message got her 100, do you think that one would get her just 3 more leads a year? Well, that's a 3% increase. It doesn't take much, people, to get a 3% increase. Now, here's the beautiful part. When you multiply that 3% increase throughout the various areas, and we're going to get into that over here with the PAS, it has a compounding interest or compounding effect, because let's say that you had $1 million, and 3% of $1 million is $30,000. Well, once you've established that extra 3% on that one element, the other elements that are impacted from that element now have a larger number. That 3% that you're going to do increase the efficiency or optimize that element by 3% is going to have a larger return. So for $1 million, you're going to get 30,000 return on a 3% improvement. Now you've got $1,030,000, and your next 3% will be 30,900, and so on and so on and so on. So you see how this compounding effect happens when you have exponential growth across different elements. And we're going to look at that right now. Let's say that a person made $250,000. Okay. $250,000 worth of revenue. Let's say their cost of goods is 50% margin. So they spend 50% of every dollar that they make on making their good, their product or their service that goes to directly to the marketing, to anything that costs directly with building that particular widget. Okay. That's 50%. Let's say that means there's 50% left to take home, right? Let's say that your expenses, your rent, your insurances, the cost of your admins, the cost of the corporate offices, right? All that stuff is 30%. So you're taking home 20%. Okay. So you make $250,000 in a year. 50% is spent on making that goods or services, and 20% is what you take home. So if we go down here, and let me take my big-headed self out of blocking the numbers. Give me half a second. I don't have an engineer. I am the engineer. So move myself over here. So you've got $250,000, okay? And you are taking home $50,000 of that. Everybody with me? So now we're going to go up here and we're going to slide the bar. We're talking about small incremental changes to your business of 3% across 12, just 12 elementary, fundamental elements of any business. I don't care what business it is. Almost every business has this type of expense of elements. Excuse me. We've got cost. We've got creating a dominating market position. A lot of this stuff, by the way, people, they don't cost you anything to do. Creating a compelling offer. We talked about this stuff earlier. Increasing your prices because now you're selling on value, right? 3% across the board. Learning how to upsell, cross-sell, bundling your products, downselling or offering additional products and services. We talked about creating that drip campaign earlier, right? Creating alliances and joint ventures, buying more leads or creating more leads, especially if you have a website that you could do a lead squeeze page that we talked about that's for free, basically. And your digital marketing. 12 elemental, almost every single business. I'd be hard pressed to think of any business that can't touch these, at least 8 of these 12. All right. But if you increase them each by just 3%, this is where the magic happens. We now have a revenue, that increase of $100,000, almost $96,058, an increased revenue. So you go from $250,000 to $346,058. But here's the crazy part, where we were at 20% profit on the incremental dollars that you're now making in revenue because of these 3% increases in these 12 different elements. You're now collecting $108,000 of profit. Instead of just 50, it's up to 108. So the next $100,000 that you made, where the first 250, you're at 20%. The next 100,000, you're at 50% profit. Thereabout. Every business is going to be a little different. But hell, even if I'm in the ballpark at 20% off, if you made 50% on your first 250,000 and the next 100,000, you made $50, $40, $35,000. Who wouldn't want to do that? Who couldn't do that? Who can't do this, ladies and gentlemen? Who cannot improve your business by 3% across these elementary business elements? This is how I help businesses grow every single day. Every single day. We got a new one. Garrett, Mr. Garrett, thank you. So here is where it gets very interesting, guys, is that 12 elements here can break down into 40, okay? Here's, I'm gonna show you guys stuff that I typically don't show because it gets a little unbelievable. I'm gonna move myself back way over here. And I'm going to do a deep dive into my profits further. So I'm going to take those 12 elements and I'm going to break it down into 40 elements. Okay. 40 elements. Those 12 can go deeper dive. And really 3%. How many of these 40s can you really concentrate on over time with training, with help? Content marketing, website optimization, email marketing. I'm not going to go through all 40 of these, but people, how easy is it to increase our business here, right? Bam. Not that hard. Small incremental changes. Now we're looking at, instead of $250,000, we're doing $690,000 for the year. We've increased our revenue by $440,000, ladies and gentlemen, $440,000. And our profits jumped from $50,000 to $330,000 for the same amount of your output. You're just increasing 3% across 40 elements over time. Some of the things that you do, you're going to do that move the needle faster than other things. So those are the ones you're going to concentrate on first. Some of the things are going to be more natural for you. So you're going to concentrate on that first. Some of those are going to jump up 10, 20%. Some of them aren't going to be applicable to you at all. But overall, who can disagree with me that this is some sort of voodoo mathematics? It's just about compounding results and exponential growth in your business. Now look at these results. These results are really, really, really exciting. This is what I get to do every day. People, I get to show business owners how to make more money with less, which is what we all have to do these days, isn't it? We all have to do more with less. 954-338-9799. Give me a call. Let's run your numbers. All right, I'll put your numbers right in here. If you use a fake name, all right, text me first. Say, don't use my name. I'll put you on here. You can use a voice. All right, a voice simulator. Bam. We'll do you right. If you have questions, give me a call. It's 9:22. We are getting the night on. We are getting down to business here. Who's having fun? I am having a lot of fun. You know, my wife said 2 hours is a long time. 2 hours is a long, long time. I don't know that you should have bit off 2 hours. And I said, you know what? It goes so fast. There's so much to talk about. Yeah, Hakeem, who doesn't? Anybody, you know, anyone can call me and we can run their numbers. I really want to take and show you really something cool. People say, okay, Jeremy, these are the 40 steps, okay? These are the 12 steps up here. Now, it's easy to say cut costs. It's easy to say create a marketing dominating position. But how? All right? It's always in the how. Everyone says they could do something, but no one tells us how to do it. Well, if you call me, I don't want this to be an advertisement, all right, in my business, but I'm going to show you how we do it. First of all, I help people in 52 different industries. All right. My software will work with people in 52 different industries. So no matter what your industry is, chances are I've got content for you that I can tell you and show you how to improve your business. All right. We do work with people in all sorts, because business is business is business is business. All right. Is there small changes between all these industries? Of course there is. But marketing is marketing. Employees are employees. Profit is profit. Cost are cost. All right. What we do is learn how to ask the right questions in the right order in order to make these elements make sense to you. So that way you can start making these compound improvements in your business. Okay. So let me show you exactly what happens when we start picking this apart. And I'm going to use Garrett's business. He's listening right now. So let's say I have some implied consent. Okay. So this is his 12. Okay. His 12 elements. And we didn't say 3%. You know, we said 10% here, 5% here. All right. We can improve the leads 5%. We can do joint ventures, digital marketing. Some of these things, I mean, we had zero. We're at zero. When you're at zero, how hard is it to add 15% to something? Really, I don't think we're really overextending ourselves by saying we're going to grow 15% when we have never had a compelling offer. And I'm telling you, the proof is in the pudding because we're getting calls. Garrett, you can contest or contest. You can confirm about these leads that are coming in the last couple of weeks, right? 2-3 a week. It's working. Okay. So let's look at let me just show you the how. All right. That's what we're not going to really get into all the numbers. We're going to get into the how. Okay. So these are the 12 percentages, the 12. But here's how we said we're going to do an implementation now. First of all, the priorities. What is it easiest? What's easiest to move the market first, right? So you see, if I want to do digital marketing first, I could bring this up here. I could move the stuff around. Compelling offer, right? I can move this up here. All right. If I want to take drip campaign and move it up, I could do that. I'm putting it back because we're working with Garrett. This is Garrett's real business plan. But you see how it's all customizable. If you really just want to increase your price because you haven't done it in a while, bam, increase your prices, move it up. Right. This is the priority list of how we're going to work on the business in which order. Now, we're going to go up here to implementation. This is the best part of my day because this is a Gantt chart that's going to say, I'm going to work on the initial planning meeting. We're going to take 2 weeks to come up with a big plan. We're going to work on the marketing dominating position for 4 weeks. Then we're going to work on leads for 4 weeks. Then we're going to work on alliances and joint ventures. Now, I wanted to do it for 4 weeks, but there's 1 and 3. It's split because we have a quarterly review. So we definitely look every 3 months at the results that we're getting. On a deep dive, of course, we're looking week over week on our results, but we do a deep dive on the quarter. So let's get to the how. All right, Jeremy. For 4 weeks, I work on my dominating marketing position, but that doesn't say how. How do you help me? Well, this is something that you have access to. We click on that, and now we have all of these ways to tell you what to do. All right, find an advantage over your competitors. Just the things that we talked about. Know what your competitors are offering, how they communicate their offer to the public. There are questions I like to ask when it comes to digging deeper, right? Review what my main competitors are. What advantages? See, these are the things that spark thought, right? Chispa, right? It sparks the imagination. If you're working on your business, you will improve it. If you're working in your business, you're going to be too bogged down to think about these things. So these are the things that help you think about ways to help your business, right? Now, brainstorming your marketing dominating position, right? These are suggestions that we look at. How could we say that something is more elegant or convincing, right? We worked with a digital marketing agency, right? I mean, you can see here, if I zoom out a little bit, all of these suggestions, all of these areas, it's all food for thought. And I work with you through this process on a weekly meeting, and we get better every single week. This is just one of the implementation. This is the 4 weeks we're working on the marketing dominating position. All right, a checklist of all the ways. Remember, these are tactics, right? These are not your strategy. These are your tactics. These are the hows, the newspaper and the billboards and the seminars, trade shows. All right, determining your reasonable expected results, right? Easy for me to say. Guys, this is turnkey. This is guaranteed to get your business moving in the right direction because everything is spelled out for you. On top of that, okay, if you go over here to your let's see here. I'm going to go over here to your e-learning here. And if that wasn't enough of us showing you in black and white what to do for your business, okay, here is all your videos, right? We have so many videos. on how to do this. And it comes with a workbook. So you're going to have a PDF writable workbook where it's going to take you through this video, and you're going to follow it along, and you're going to write down your notes. And then this is where we're going to get together, and we're going to powwow, we're going to brainstorm. And then it's got this video. This particular video is 33 minutes long, and it tells you, and you can see if I go back, how many lessons there are. 52 lessons, right? One a week for this particular virtual MBA, but there's all these customizable how to generate revenue now, internet marketing. Okay. There's a video for that. Internet marketing. Here's a video for downselling. Okay. Here's a video for drip campaigns. Everything we talked about tonight is all on here. All right. It's all done at your fingertips. All of these things, more leads. All right. All of these are different videos, fundamentals. All right. Here's 3 different videos. All right. It's just so much. This one has 2 videos here in workbooks. Okay. So there's just there's not a way that you can stump this thing and say, I want to get my business better, but I don't know what to do. Well, here you go to your advertising library. Again, which industry are you in? Pick that, and we've got just dozens and dozens and dozens of examples of how to do advertising for your particular business in your industry, how to do an elevator pitch, email library, sales letters, scripts, and all of these can be converted to social, by the way, everybody. I'm just so excited to be involved with this company, with this platform. It's so dang impressive. I swear to God. I come here every day. This is my get-to life. It's a get-to studio. I get to come here and talk to people like you on here, listen to great music, talk about great books with great people. Here's Larry's book. I talked about it at the top of the show. Larry's book is called Jolt. All right. It's available on Amazon. Larry Long Jr. Let me pull it up here again for you guys to see. Larry Long Jr. Bam. Okay. Jolt. Buy it today. Buy your copies today. This is Larry Long Jr.'s book called Jolt. Get zapped into intentionality, rediscover and believe in your inner greatness. It's my book of the night. Highly recommended. Thank you for personalizing this book for Christy and myself. Christy will get it next after I'm done picking through it and getting out all my nuggets. It's interactive. It's got at the end of each chapter your top 3 jolts, and it's got a couple mantras after each chapter. So really a lot of good stuff in here. And Larry, again, check him out every Wednesday on the Midweek Motivational Minute on LinkedIn, probably a bunch of other platforms too. But Larry Long Jr., thank you, partnership, for your friendship. 954-338-9799 is the phone number. Call me. We can run the numbers. We can talk about your marketing, your employee engagement issues, anything that you have on your mind that you want to improve on your business. Again, I don't claim that I can solve everybody's business problem, but I definitely can cause a discussion about it. And we have people here who are watching, Jim Ashby and Hakeem, Polly Mo and Tony and my wife, and some other people, Garrett, can all chime in through the chat and help solve your business problem. We've got a great cast here. I know that my buddy Joseph Gonzalez is probably listening, although it's getting kind of late. His I get up pretty early in the morning, but he gets up and actually works out, which I cannot claim right now, although I should, because I'm 100% healthy again. So let's go back to me boring you guys with some stuff from the LPW of my training, which is some really great stuff. And the guys over there, Alan Ulsh and Alan Jr., I tell you what, they are really, really amazing at the amount of training that they have gone over with us. Elevator pitches, action calls, every couple of days you're on a call, the group calls, the Ask an Expert call, which kind of like this is right here. Being only the first or second week of this, I don't expect to have a lot of following, but people who are really chipping in tonight in the comment section, I greatly appreciate you guys doing this for me. I want to talk about, let's see here. What is interesting? I don't want to bore you guys here. Fundamentally, we talked about exponential growth. Let's kind of get back into that just a little bit. Let's see here. We got Pareto's principle, the 80-20 rule. We could talk about that. There are 5 areas that make up a business profit center of any company. The foundation of the business, the leads, the conversion, and the pricing is the 4th location. Actually, I said there's 5 areas. That's 4 areas. So let's go with 4. Because everything is really the foundation is like we talked about employees, the employee engagement, the culture that you created by hiring, onboarding, and retaining your employees, giving them purpose and value and hearing their voice. That is the foundation of the company. No way to get around that. Second way is by leads. All right. The more leads you have, the more opportunity you have to make sales. That's making those sales is called a conversion. So your conversion is the 3rd component of the business profit center, and your pricing, which is something that you want to charge more for because you've been able to build value in to your products and service by your compelling message and your compelling offer and your low risk offer, and educating and overcoming objections on the front end of your marketing. Now, what we want to do with the is grow these areas, all right? Compounding, grow these little areas. Each of those areas have the 12 breakout elements that we talked about. We want to know who your target client is, right? We talked about that a little earlier. The avatar, finding out what their fears are, what their hopes are, what do they look like? Are they married? Are they single? Where do they live? How much money do they make? Do they have a family? Do they work from home? Do they commute to the office? These are kind of the things you should have really in mind. A lot of these people might look exactly like yourself. All right. And that's probably a good way to start, was kind of make yourself the avatar and try to pitch to yourself, because you know your fears, you know your hopes and your goals, and you kind of dial that into your ideal client. A lot of other people are like you in America. Do you understand the process, the prospect's decision-making process? This is very, very important. This is called the buyer's journey. Okay. Now, the buyer's journey is very key in understanding, again, understanding that they have a problem that they don't want, and you have a result they want but don't have. All right. That 80-20, that Pareto's principle again. Go back and focus on the 20% of anything that you're doing in your business that actually works, and then focus on duplicating that. Okay. Once you understand the problem that they have, that don't want, and you understand that you have the result that they want but don't have, or that you want, that you have but that they want, you should be able to educate them and include it in the offer, and it should be a low risk or no risk offer. Giving them only 1 to 3% of people who are ready to buy right now want your product, but they probably want to buy that on price, where the other 97% of the people on their buyer's journey are going to buy based on value, and they're going to pay a lot more money for the exact same product and service, because you've made the decision firm in their head. You've overcome their objections. You made them feel good about the decision that they're going to be with buying from you. Let's go with Jim. Jim says, it seems like your system is very similar to the ideal lean protocol to hiring costs, but on a micro business level. That is true. I saw this first, Jim, over there at Tony Robbins. The guy named Keith Cunningham was Tony Robbins' guy. Man, he's the guy. And he's got this great airplane model where he talks about P&Ls and the 3 different reports of any P&L. And he does a great job. But this thing goes so deep. It drives it. Like you said, it's a micro or a macro business. Micro, it drills down. So I would say it's a micro. it really drills down very, very deep from the 12 to the 40. And it really does give you all of that information to make you think about, just reminding you what works, right? That 20% is all in there. And Kenny, thank you for chiming in tonight, Kenny. Savor the flavor, the awesomeness in you, sir. For sharing the delectable nuggets of wisdom, knowledge, honesty, encouragement, empathy, understanding, sincerity, sir. Well, I salute you, sir. Thank you, man. Pow, Mr. Kenny in the house. What a great compliment. I really appreciate that. We're coming up on 9:40, which is an hour and 40 minutes into this thing, and no sign of slowing down. But I would appreciate the comments to keep coming and the phone calls to come on 954-338-9799. We'll take anyone's phone call, run you through the numbers if you like, or we can just discuss your business to see how it works for you and see how we can talk about. Casey, thank you for stopping by and saying hello. I appreciate that. I'm really enjoying myself. You better be able to entertain yourself on these kind of shows, because if nobody shows up and just crickets, then you're just stuck with yourself, which I'm fine with, by the way. Thanks, Casey, for stopping by. The league, thanks for all the work that you do with Junior Achievement, Casey, of South Florida. And we're looking forward to the Hard Rock Men's Night Out, or the league's night out. And probably going to be a couple of women there. I think Christy might end up making an appearance with us. But thank you for all that you do for our children, our children's future with Junior Achievement of South Florida. Anyone interested in giving their time to the kids, Casey is the person. By the way, Casey, you got to look me up, because I don't think I've got any interns lined up for this summer, and I think it's high time we get that lined up. But the summer's here. I may have missed the boat getting this whole thing lined up, but definitely interested in helping out there. Again, we always enjoy our interns from Junior Achievement of South Florida. Women are allowed. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying. Christy is my partner, so she comes with me most places. But Hard Rock is someplace we've very much been looking forward to visiting. And if I went there first with the league, I don't think I would have a chance in hell going without her. But I think we're going to try to stay there in July, just for fun, a staycation. So back to the buyer's journey. When we are educating our prospects, our potential clients, and giving them the information, more than they're asking for, but a very specific information about the exact one specific, focused product or service, and you're giving them you're overcoming the objections. You're giving them the 10 reasons or the 10 things that your business must do so much better than your competition, or you're making them feel good, or educating them about the product. Then when they buy, they're going to buy on value, and then they're going to feel good about that decision. That is called the buyer's journey. It's the benefit of ownership, the objections to ownership, and the vendor selection criteria. That just means what separates me from my competition. That's the vendor selection criteria, the benefits of ownership, and the objections to ownership. Let's talk about benefits and features for just a second. Let's use an alarm company, for example. Let's say a benefit of an alarm company. People would say, oh, they, let's see, let's talk about, it's got 365 degrees worth of surveillance around your property. That's a benefit. It's got every 5 nanoseconds, it's refreshing, on the IP address. So that's a benefit. Let's talk about, it's got true enhanced color and zoom, high 4K pixels. So that's a benefit. You could really zoom in on something. Nighttime is crystal clear, LED in focus, enhanced visibility. That's a benefit. Those are all benefits. What is the feature of all those things? What is the feature of the alarm? The feature is you can sleep at night knowing that your property is safe because of the benefits of the 365 degrees surveillance, the 4K crystal clear pictures, the enhanced night LED, things, the 5 nanoseconds refresh rate. These are benefits that help with the feature that you can sleep soundly knowing that your property is safe, especially when maybe you're on a business trip and your family's at home with that alarm set. That's the feature. So you understand the difference between a benefit and a feature. A lot of people confuse benefits with features. Feature is a result of a benefit, basically. That's about the easiest way I could say it. So your alarm company now, you're talking about selling alarms. So you talk about the benefits of ownership, the features of ownership. Then you overcome the objections. So you got it's cost, right? So everyone's talking about cost. It's $30 a month, less than a cup of coffee, right? How about credit cards? I love this one. This is when I worked at the Saveology years ago, and we had people on the phone with like ADT and Vivint and all these Comcast. We sold all these things, and people say we got them to agree to do everything, but then they didn't want to give us a credit card number. Well, I don't give my credit card number out, and I've always heard 100 different objections for overcoming credit card. One of my favorite ones is, and I've never got a no to this one, by the way. I asked them, how do you order pizza? Do you do you write them a check at the door? How do you order Domino's pizza? No, I put my credit card number right in the machine. Okay, so how's this different? Reputable companies. All right, give me your credit card number. Wait, is it Visa or MasterCard? All right, don't even play with that. All right, these people, they want to give you your credit card number. They buy pizza every single day. They shop on Amazon every single day. Don't let that credit card number be an objection, but you're going to overcome that objection because they're going to see you again 5 to 12 times. They're going to see your company. They're going to see your value. They're going to get to know you by your consistent messaging and by you showing them that you've been in business for X amount of time and that you've got all those different ratings around the internet and all this stuff. These are overcoming these objections through this drip campaign. And then the vendor selection criteria. This is where the outside perception and the inside reality have to start coming together because of your messaging. You can start letting your personality show in your marketing. You can show your employee engagement on your advertising, especially on social media. Social media is a great way to get your outside reality, your perception, your inside reality on the same page by having your employees open up different pages on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, and really posting these things that are happening at work, having your company events, serving the different food, especially if they're the leader and you are serving, right? I mean, these employees make a big deal of you serving them and solving their problems and being the person that gives them purpose. Have them train them, give them that leeway to post on this stuff. Now you've got a public perception that is aligned with your internal reality, that you're a valued company, that you have happy, energized employees that actually go home at night with more energy than they came to work with because they've got a sense of purpose. How many people, either entrepreneurs or employees, actually know what their company's compelling messages, their company values, okay, the company's purpose, right? So if you're doing a good job with spreading that message throughout the employees and they know how what they do impacts the values of the company, how it aligns, how they act, what they say, the support that you give them illustrates that it aligns with the company values. The purpose of the company is to do X. And when I do my job, it makes X happen. And when I don't do my job, we actually hurt what our purpose of the company is. So when I know the impact, the direct impact of the company's purpose by my actions of doing my job, whether it's selling or supporting or marketing or coming up counting widgets or building something on a bench or bench testing quality, QC, customer service, all these things impact the value of the company. All these things impact the purpose of the company. And when each individual understands what their impact, what their actions have on the impact of that purpose, you really get some real motivational, spontaneity happening with these posts and a lot of fun posts. And again, that's when the alignment between the external perception and internal reality come. And those can also go into your the links can go into these emails that you're sending out with your educational trip campaigns. And you do these links to your Facebooks, to your Facebook, your Instagram pages. So not only are you educating them on the typical or the specific product or service that you promised them, but now you're giving them a glimpse into the personality of the company when you have a good culture of Facebook posting and stuff like that. You got to be careful. You got to keep an eye on what they're saying and the words they're using, of course, but it's worth the effort. Okay, happy employees are just exponentially. They miss less work. Right? They don't call in sick as much. They don't transfer as much, especially just for a few dollars, which a lot of people are sniping people now for just a couple of dollars more. But if they're happy, they won't leave. If you bring in free food every couple of weeks, people love that. That's a huge thing. Free food for companies. And then, of course, giving them room to make mistakes, letting them have freedom to, try some things, answering questions, solving problems that are unorthodox, that are not right within the company policy or guidelines. But if they're comfortable coming up with alternative ways to make a client happy, that shouldn't be a negative. Okay. Might it be a training opportunity afterwards? Of course it might be, but maybe the training will be on you. Maybe you'll learn a new way to solve a problem for a client. So, these things all will lead to improvements in your company by letting your employees have a little bit of leeway to make some calls on their own, where they're gonna stumble sometimes. But if it's from an organically good place, then it's not a mistake typically. Just go back to Kenny's very happy 34 years of employment, same employer. Kenny, that is impressive. Now let me ask you this, Kenny. How many name changes has the company gone through? I know I was with Comcast, and then before that it was with AT&T Broadband. Before that it was, Media One. Before that it was American Television. Before that it was, I don't know, Pompano or American something. So same company, same desk, 10 years, but 4 companies. I was wondering what industry you're in, Kenny, and if you had experienced that. And Hakeem, thanks for sticking all night. Hakeem was the first guy on the line, and he's been here. I got just 7 minutes left. The last one on culture is such an important topic, and the way that we impact can be such a light lift as well. And it really is not that expensive, right? Treating people the way they want to be treated is pretty affordable. All right. It takes empathy, like we talked about earlier. I think Kenny mentioned empathy earlier. It takes empathy. It takes listening more than speaking, having that open door policy, having your employees not be afraid to voice their concerns, bring in different alternatives to what you've been doing for X amount of years. But everything changes. And if you think things stay the same, the only thing that's doesn't stay the same is change, right? As the only consistent is inconsistency. I guess I don't know how they say it, but it really is. That's where the circle of influence and the circle of control come in. I know what I was talking about with Kenny is when we went from American Cable to Media One, from a Media One to Media One to American to AT&T Broadband, from AT&T to Comcast. Every single time you didn't know what was going to happen. The shoe's going to fall. The other shoe's going to fall, right? Are they going to have 2 of me now because we took over the company from Davey, and then we're based in Margate, and it's really so close. There's got to be double, right, of everybody now. So what do you do? Well, that's when Nestor Martin. Actually, I don't remember if it was Nestor Martin. It could have been Mike Sabag. I believe it was either one or 2 of them, probably both. Sat me down and talked to me about the circle of control, right? And if Media One comes in and they combine Davey and Margate, let's just say, and there's 2 construction managers, how am I going to control that? Well, I'm not going to control that. I'm just not. There's no way I can control that except through my actions every day of doing the best job I could possibly do and being the best representative of the company and keeping my employees happy and keeping the clients happy and blah, blah, blah. That's how I can control it. So your circle of control is anything that happens within that circle. Write down. Can I control getting to work on time? Yes, I can. Bam. Do I wake up at night and worry about being late? No, because I know I can leave at a certain amount of time to be at work on time. So I don't worry about being late to work because I can control that. Do I control traffic? Well, no, I can't control traffic. So that's on the outside. So I don't worry about it, but I leave early enough in case there is traffic. Okay. Can I control how they combine the areas, and the guy who my competitor is the cousin of the guy who is hiring? You can't control that. So put it out of your mind. Your position's going to be there, whether it's that particular spot or somewhere else in the company or somewhere else out of the company. And we all learn we usually fail up. Whenever we fail, whenever we're out of a job, whenever a new door closes and another one opens, it's usually better. My particular experience. So what I can control, I write in the circle. The next circle around that, draw another circle around that, and that's the circle of influence. Now, that circle of influence is, can I control my children? No. But can I influence them? And you can absolutely influence your children. You can be an example, treat them with respect, with integrity. You can show them the ways of the world. You can really be honest with them. You can give them, just like your employees, room to fail. That's the best way to do it. It's very hard to do. Take it from me. But you are influencing them every single day. And so can you control them? No, but you can influence them. Can you influence your bosses? Of course you can. You can influence them by getting better at asking them, hey, can I get, what kind of classes should I take? Asking them for input, asking them to be a mentor. All right, now you're influencing them by showing them that you want to grow and that you appreciate their opinions and that you're going to listen to them. And then you got to actually listen to them too, which is also fun. Failing up, taking that one with me. I'm glad failing up. I fail up all the time. I'm not afraid of failure. My last name is Torisk, and my blood type is B positive. So that one is with me. Kenny, you're such a suave, debonair, sophisticated gentleman. Thank you, my friend. We had to do a virtual coffee, me and you, man. Stellar, scholarly, well-articulated, eloquently stated. You are quite the author. Heartfelt human being. Thank you. I'm glad that's coming through. This is here. It's what I do. Goodness for the betterment of humankind. You are quite kind, my friend, Mr. Kenny D. And be sure to hit me up on LinkedIn and you're on LinkedIn. Hit me up on the message there, okay? And I want to send you a book, The Business Treasure Hunter, 10 Areas for Exponential Growth, on me. I'm going to mail you a live signed copy. All right, hit me up on LinkedIn, Kenny, because flattery will get you everywhere. Okay, that's the premise, the story behind that one. Okay, and so we are at the end of our show, and I appreciate every single last one of you all by sticking in here tonight with me on Let's Get Down to Business. We appreciate every single one of you again, and let's get this out of the way here. Thank you, Travis Tritt and Elvis Presley, for that. I do appreciate, like I said, every single person that's been here tonight. My mother said, hey, Bird. There you go. And Tony, thanks for that text. Appreciate you. Everybody, thank you, Hakeem. Thank you, Kenny. Thank you. Let's take a look here. Casey for chiming in. Thank you, Jim Ashby. Such a great contributions you guys made. Garrett, Polly Mo. Again, my wife, Christy Torisk, Tony Robinson, Ken Crawford chiming in up here with the Ed McMahon answer. Mike Perrin. Thank you, Mike Perrin, for chiming in. Michael Aronowitz, one of my heroes, really my true mentor coming through this marketing stuff. Thank you, everybody. We are out of here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get down to business, and good night.